This is day 49 of building a solar company that is doing $1 million in profit, starting from an investment of $1,000. On our way, today had an interview with, I gotta make sure I'm in the shot. Today I had an interview with Byron. He's a new sales development representative, so he's going to be out knocking doors with us. This is the sales game with Josh McKay, helping solar business owners sell more, make more, and work less. Setting appointments for our salespeople. He is keen on moving into sales at some stage, but he seems pretty open to whatever, developing his skills, and then at some stage moving into a financial sort of background role, I think studying and stuff. It's cool because these people are sharing what their goals are, and we're going to, as much as we can, try and find ways that they can start getting that experience within our own business, because there's so much opportunity and there's so much growth happening. There is a lot of pathways that people can go down, which is really cool, especially for the people that are joining on board. Those opportunities will be presented to them first, ideally, because then we can develop people and develop their skills, and whether they stay with us or they take their skills somewhere else, it's all part of the fun. So there's a few things that we have to do every time we bring on a recruit. So obviously send out emails to congratulate and then offer and then get some more details. I have also finalized creating the employment contract for Hayley, the other sales development representative that I hired last week. Byron's starting next week, and Hayley's going to start another 2 or 3 weeks after that, staggering them over that period of time. Both of them are going on holidays in the next few months as well, so I'm thinking there's an opportunity while they're on holidays to have someone else start as well. So within 2 to 3 months, we could have a team of probably 3 or 4 sales development representatives, with one salesperson and me training a new salesperson coming on board as well. So it's exciting. I have to figure out how long it's going to take to train Byron and how many appointments he's going to be generating and how much time I have, because it might be already after just having 2 sales development representatives, it might be a case of having to get a salesperson on to replace myself sooner. And then we can go get another sales development representative. Then I'll jump back into sales, train another salesperson, and then we have, it's probably 3 or 4 sales development representatives generating appointments for 2 salespeople, maybe with a few digital appointments being created in there as well. I have set up and paid for the digital, appointments being generated from BizFocused. So I'm doing a test batch and they should start next week, which is cool. They're going to spread 10 appointments over a 2-week period, so that's not ideal. It's starting and they're learning that, so I'm going to be joining them with that sort of first couple of weeks, and ideally ramping up and trying to get, really, I want 10 appointments over 2 days. That's really what I want, and I want them to be close together. So that'll be interesting to see whether we can make that work. As we grow larger, we're going to have opportunities to have more salespeople and have salespeople working in certain areas, ideally closer to where they're living. That way they're more familiar with the area, and then I can travel back and forth, and where they can go out and attend appointments pretty fast from wherever they're based. That's how I sort of segment areas, and it's not going to be a hard and fast rule, but it'll just make it logistically a lot better to work. So they can hybrid between working a little bit phone-based and also sales face-to-face based. The plan today was to interview Byron. I then ordered uniforms as well for our sales development representatives. They're wearing high vis, and we're going to get the uniform actually put their name and logo. I'm not really a fan of reusing old uniforms, even if someone starts for 2 weeks. I want to give new people new uniforms, so I figure I might as well get the printing of their names and the logo on the uniform as well, and that makes them feel more part of the team. Because it would, I know for me, if I got a uniform with my name on it, it's kind of, oh, cool, it's official. So they've been ordered. I wanted to create employment contracts. So those 3 things are done: interview, send the email out to Byron, order the uniforms, got his shirt sizes, created the employment contracts, send the employment contract out to Hayley so she can sign it. I wanted to set up the iPad with Sales Rabbit. I've got an appointment at midnight tonight because they're America, so that'll get done. I'm on schedule to meet that appointment. I was looking into setting up Apple business accounts so we can manage the Apple IDs that are going to be signed into the iPads from one account. It's much easier. I didn't know this in the past. It's going to be a lot easier. However, each employee needs to have a phone number linked to their Apple ID. So I need to set that up with the people on the spot when in the initial sort of training stages, in the initial setup of the role. So that'll be part of that process I'll have to do at that time. I'm looking at getting the products. So I've bought a few iPads and an iPhone and things like that, looking at getting Apple Care to insure the products for damage, because the people are going to be out on field. Definitely for the iPads. I'm considering whether I go Apple Care or look at insurance to cover business equipment, because that will cover other things as well. I'll just a little bit looking into whether it's, with excesses and all that with both products, and having a few products, is Apple Care going to be the way to go, or is it going to be better to have a business insurance product that might be cheaper and cover all of the devices without having to have individual things? We'll figure that out after a little bit more research. I didn't get time to do that today. That'll probably be done it'll probably be done when Apple Care, that they give you 7 days complimentary. So I think that finishes in another 5 days. It'll probably be done when that finishes, that I'll actually action that when I have to. That's sometimes a good motivator of when you've got a bunch of things to do, you do things in order of priority. Have actioned the workers' compensation plan. I'm just trying to get that put into a monthly payment rather than upfront. It's $4,000 a year, so I'm just trying to get it to spread over time rather than paying. I can't come up with $4,000 right now. I need to be using that for stock. So if I can't, I'll probably need to find a different provider that can, or I'll need to look at sourcing more business finance. That ideally is not the result, because I want to keep it to 15K. Although technically speaking, it is still starting with 15 grand. It's just sourcing additional finance, and that's something that you can do pretty early on with businesses. Use a personal guarantor. Yeah, you can source more finance. So anyway, ideally that's not the end result. That's not the result. We want to finance it from the sales. So I'll try and find a repayment option for that. It's finance anyway. It's funny, what I consider an insurance repayment or a loan, it's still finance. I'm not sure. I'll let you decide. I'm going to stick it to the 15 grand though. I'm trying to set up, we had a little issue with picking our stock up from Trade Zone today. The order was incomplete, even though I had the Trade Zone representative complete that order for me and had it checked on Monday. I did the order last week, the stock orders, the installs tomorrow. Did the stock order last week, had it confirmed on Monday that it was ready, also confirmed it with the installer to make sure everything was there. Things were missing from the order, so not sure what happened. They'll need to go back through and make sure the invoices, I wasn't charged twice. In the end, I actually had to pay for things like 2 or 3 times over the phone, because I paid with someone, they didn't find the payment, and this installer is sitting there waiting to pick up the stock because the order was incomplete. So I paid with someone over the phone. The other person on the trade desk couldn't find the payment, so I had to pay with him again. And then they forgot something else, so I had to pay with him again. A little bit of pain in the ass for the installer. It usually wasn't that hard to handle. I just okay, we'll pay it, because he was waiting there for about an hour while this was all getting done. So what I want to do is create either it's a credit, a balance. Maybe I put $1,000 on the account with Trade Zone, and that's just allowed for, if something is missing, they can just take it out of that balance. Or I give Aaron a card that he can use that has a $1,000 limit. With Commonwealth Bank, it doesn't look like it's possible unless I add my installer on as a signatory on the account, which I definitely don't want that. Amex allows you to do it, and there's basically just sign up and get it done, but they don't take Amex over the counter. They only take it through like an invoicing system. So that doesn't work for me. So I think that's the end result. I'm going to set up a $1,000 credit, just put $1,000 towards Trade Zone, forget about it, and then I'll let Aaron know, hey, if something's missing, we've got $1,000 that's sitting there, just tell him to use that. And I'll tell Trade Zone that Aaron has the authority to add additional things. We'll just get invoiced. We can make sure that it's all sweet. We'll be working with Aaron for a long time moving forward. So I am in good faith that we're all above board, because everything's being tracked anyway, so there's no need to worry about that side of things. So anyway, I just really wanted to make it smooth so that Aaron doesn't have to go through those experiences and get delayed and then be frustrated, things like that, because it is frustrating to get delayed like that. So I've looked into that, found out my bank, Commonwealth, can't do it. I also found out that I can't do it through Amex, so that was actually a good end result, and I've troubleshooted that, so we'll just put as I already said. Jerry, operations manager, is overseeing the live deal tracker that we're developing for our website. So we've got this cool live deal tracker which shows if you order a pizza at Domino's, it shows you, or if you order an Uber, it shows you where the Uber is and they're finding an Uber and how far it is away and all that sort of stuff. We've recreated that to the best of our ability and really cheap, just by adding web pages with video images and little flashing things to get the same effect. It's quite cool. Jerry's been overseeing that. It's been quite a lot of back and forth. Super handy to have him liaising between our web developer with that one. I think we got it built for about $300 all up, and it's something that gives the appearance of that might have spent thousands of dollars on. It is pretty cool. It shows the customer what stage they're at and looks like it's progressing, and each stage will send them another link to the thing to show them where they're at with an image of it. It's pretty cool. I am also been looking into gift hampers for customers. So I saw this post on Solar Objections. It's a solar sales group worldwide, but mainly Americans. And this guy posted about like his AAA rated solar sales experience or solar customer service experience to generate good referrals. And there was a lot of cool things, but he sends like food and stuff out to people. I didn't really like it, didn't feel right to send food out, but the idea of sending a hamper out and just including them and providing more value along the process, I really want to continue to improve that customer experience to have advocates of our brand and our experience, and provide more goodwill, get more goodwill in the market. So I'm thinking about that. It's Easter right now as well, so that is something that we can do seasonally as well. I'm thinking about all these things. Can we send people things over the long term as well? It all comes down to how much lifetime value we can get out of, we can add to customers, and then be able to build on additional services and products that we can sell to them down the track. That'll be something to keep in mind of just, it's like I can remember Amex each year, I think around Christmas, they send you out a little, like a candle, something as simple as that. It's pretty cheap and they send you a candle. It's just like a last little thank you for being one of our customers. Here's a Christmas gift. Merry Christmas to you and your family. That's nice. That's a nice feeling. It doesn't have to be big as well. So I think I want to do something like that. What else are we looking at? That was a gift hamper. And then I've got the two staff that are training in that SDR role, the sales development representative role. They start, one's next week and one's in 3 weeks, but one of them's going on holidays for a month in May and the other one's going for holidays for 3 weeks in June. So I'm going to have one down over those 2 periods. So I'm just thinking about how I'm going to recruit. I'm thinking that as soon as I get Haley, who's starting second, as soon as I get her trained up, or probably while I'm training her, I'll start the ads, because it takes a little bit of a time for the ads to come through and people to respond. And it's about a week delay between when you start getting interviews and then when you actually start the role. So maybe even the moment that Byron's trained up, the first guy starting next week, I'll probably put another ad up for another 2 of those people. And that way when Byron comes back, we might be able to, I still want him to develop in that role a little bit further before we look at sales, but it's a potential that I hire someone into the sales role directly first as well. So just get someone straight up into sales from outsourced. Ideally I'd be hiring from internal, but won't have been around for long enough to really develop in that role before we want to move them into it. We'll see how we feel, see how Byron goes and everything like that. But I have made the mistake in the past about bringing people out of a role too early and into the next role where they haven't really developed, and they might be doing really well in that role, and then you want them to keep doing well in that role. So anyway, this is just what I wanted to do, is just think about it. And over the next 4 days will be Easter holidays. It's just something that I'm going to mull over in the back of my mind, and probably not even mull it over, probably forget about it and then think about it with a fresh mind when I come back next week. So yeah, that's the plan. That's what's been happening. It's basically just building the team. That's probably the majority of what's being done. I haven't had time to do any of the CRM development. I do want to get that organized. I will have one day next week before Byron starts to just finally get the leads automations set up. So not just leads, but also the quoted customers, just to make sure the email and SMS is set up completely. So that's probably going to be a major priority to be done on Tuesday when I'm back next week. I still have tomorrow, our first 2 installs are happening tomorrow, but I'm going to go out to site and oversee those installs and put our signs up in the front yard. I'll show you this sign. We're going to chuck this sign up in their front yard. It's pretty cool to show them, so they can display that they've got solar for the 2 customers, and just oversee the install, take some footage. I'm going to buy a gimbal and just take some footage and get up on the roof and show the process, try and get some before and after photos as well for some content. I want to do a content video for the sales process as well for Spark Edge. And there's a few other little things like setup stuff that I've got to arrange, but maybe tomorrow I could also get some CRM development done. I'll share that video with you tomorrow. Until next time.